Alright, ladies and gentlemen, good morning everybody. Here a new video and a new start of the new chapter 10, about the percentages and graphs. And before we start with the first paragraph, I would like to look at the prior knowledge on page number 188 and 189. Because before we start with percentages and graphs, we need to look what we already know about percentages. Yeah, so in this video we're gonna talk about percentages in combination with decimal numbers, even with about percentages and fractions, and the last theory C, how to calculate with the percentages. Yeah, so three different things to know all about how to work with. Alright, so let me just have a look at theory A about percentages and decimal numbers. I just look at the first one, 80%. 80% means that it is 18 out of 100. And 18 out of 100, we can express it in a fraction. Yeah, 18 out of 100 is 18 over 100. And 18 over 100 is just a calculation 18 divided with 100. Yeah, and 18 divided with 100, 18 divided with 100, we just move the comma 2 places to the left. So it's 0, 18. Alright, so the 18% is exactly the same as 0, 18. Yeah, so to go from percentage to decimal number, you just move your comma 2 places to the left. Yeah, that's from percentage to decimal number. But if we look at bullet point number 2, 0,04, and to make from my decimal number a percentage, we can say the opposite. So instead of moving the comma 2 places to the left, we can move the comma 2 places to the right. Yeah, in mathematical language, we just say we're gonna multiply it by 100. Yeah, so here we just divide it by 100, and even there. So in that case, in bullet point number 2, we're gonna multiply it by 100. Yeah, so 0,04 is exactly the same as 4%. Or you can say 0,04, you just say it is 4 over 100. And 4 over 100 is exactly the same as 4%. Yeah? So know that the decimal number 0,04 is exactly the same as 4% and even the opposite. Now, a bit later, you're gonna work with the percentage. And you know what is 24% of 864? Well, if we make from the 24% a decimal number, it is 0,24. And you can say that 0,24 is a factor. Yeah, so we can multiply this factor with the 864. Because then you know your answer. What is 24% of 864 is 0,24 times 864. If I do that calculation, I will get the answer 207,36. Alright? So if they just say what is 100% of 864, yeah, 100% as decimal number is just 1, just divided by 100. So 1 times 864 is 864. Yeah, just some extra knowledge. Alright, so that's theory A about percentage and decimal numbers. Yeah, so that's handy to use the decimal numbers. Theory B about percentage and fractions. Now, for example, 80%. In the previous page we just saw that 80% we can write down as 18 over 100 is 0,18, but you can even simplify it as 9 over 50. Yeah, so 80% is exactly the same as 9 over 50. 24% is exactly the same as 24 over 100. We can simplify it to divide the numerator and the denominator with 2. And we can do it another time, divided both by 2. You even can say, if you see it immediately, that you just divide it from here to there by 4 and from there to here by 4. Alright? Okay, so 24% is exactly the same as 6 over 25. Okay, go on. 1 over 4, do the opposite to make a percentage. 1 over 4 is exactly the same as 25 over 100 because I just multiply both with 25 because I want to know in the denominator 100, and if we have 25 100, then you know that it is 25%. Got it? All right. But what if I want to know what is the percentage of 1 over 8? Now, we can't go from 8 to 100. That's not possible. But we can go from 8 to 1000. Because if I multiply the numerator and the denominator by 125, then you get 125 over 1000. If I divide both the numerator and denominator by 10, then you get 12.5 over 100. Yeah, but we never show in a fraction a decimal number. Yeah, so that's not allowed. But now we can say that the answer is 12.5%. Yeah, so 1 over 8 is exactly the same as 12.5%. Got it? All right. Let me just have a look at how you can use your calculator, because I just showed you 2 buttons, one in the new calculator, one maybe the old version. If you see the button SD on the new ones, or maybe the ABC, then you can change from your decimal number to a fraction. So if you just put, for example, 1 divide with 3, then you will show in your screen 0,3333, etc. Yeah. If you push the button SD or the button ABC, depends of what kind of calculation you have, then it will change in 1 over 3, or on the old calculators 1 with that symbol and then 3, which means 1 over 3. Yeah. If you push it again, then you change from your fraction in a decimal number. So maybe you didn't know it and knew that, but maybe it's wise to use it sometimes to change from decimal number to a fraction. All right, so let me have a look at theory C, because that's the important part, how to calculate with percentage. Because what if I want to know what is 64 of 480? All right, what we need to know is that 480 is the total amount, and the total amount is always 100%. So everything together is 100%. If I want to know, instead of what is 480, but what is just 1, then in that case, we just divide on both sides from here to there with 480. Yeah? So that's the reason that the 1 is exactly the same as 1 over 480. But 1 is also 1 over 480 multiplying with 100. Very important. This is a very important line. Yeah, so if you want to know what is 1, how many percent is it, then you just say 1 over 480 multiplying with 100, and then you will find in your calculator 0,208333 etc. percent. Yeah, and most time we just just rounded at one decimal place, so 0.2%. Yeah, this is approximately a symbol. In Dutch we just say ongeveer, yeah, approximately. So it's not a straight line, is equal to, because 0.2 was rounded, yeah. Okay, let me just have a look. So we know that 1 is 0.208. So if I want to know what is 64 of 480, then we just say it's 64 over 480 multiplied with 100. Yeah, so then the answer will be 13.3%. Now, the general formula to say if you want to have kind of exercise like a part of the total, I just say we get the part, we just divide it with the total and then multiply with 100%, and then you get your percentage. Yeah, so 64 out of 480, you just do 64 divided with 480 and then multiply with 100. So another example, so if they want you to know what is 3,7 of 18, then you say 3,7 over 18 and then multiplying with 100. And if I just put this one in my calculator, over 18 and then multiplying with 100, then you get 20.6%. Yeah, do not forget the unit behind your answer, because we just talk about percentages. Alright, so that's the prior knowledge what you need to do the exercises 1 to 8. So good luck with the exercise for today.